Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. The Lord explains the way to peace. 64th Sloka. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayanindriyaischaran atmavasyair videyatma prasadamadigaccati. Substance. But the self-controlled man, free from attraction and repulsion, with his senses under restraint, though moving among objects, attains peace. Commentary. The man who is able to restrain the senses and control the mind attains peace. He may be using the senses and sense objects for the purpose of sustaining his life, but such work does not befoul the purity and peace of his mind. When the poisonous fangs are pulled out, the serpent is harmless. Similarly, when attraction and repulsion, raga and dvesha are eliminated from the mind, the senses lose their evil power, and then they are only instruments in the hands of man to do what he wants them to do or to remain quiet in their places. Such a man can move freely in the world and no harm comes to him. When the horses are well under control, the charioteer feels free and happy because they take him easily to the destination without trouble and danger. So, the senses help and not hinder the man who has obtained control over the mind. Self-restrained, self-controlled means self-control is the necessary condition for self-realization. Without it, spiritual life is not possible. The mind and the senses should be under one's own control and not be under their control. The deluded self of the common man consists of turbulent senses, sensual impulses of the mind, and animal instincts of hunger, fear, lust, etc. So man acts under the power and instigation of the mind and the senses. They have mastered him and he is their slave. Man should regain his mastery over himself. Without self-mastery, though no man can attain peace and happiness. He may have all the wealth and power in the world. He may have all the desires fulfilled, but peace he cannot have because peace is the reward of self-mastery. It cannot be purchased with wealth and power. The Lord points out the way to peace. Control of the senses, purification of mind, these two conditions should be fulfilled first before man could experience the bliss of Atma. Question. Who can attain peace? Answer. He whose mind is free from attachment, whose senses are restrained, and whose mind is controlled attains peace. 65th Sloka. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajaayate prasannachetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishtate. Substance. When a man attains peace, all sorrow and suffering caused by the unbalanced mind and rebellious senses come to an end. By peace and purity, the mind is soon fixed in the self. Commentary. Every individual is seeking for the elimination of sorrow and the attainment of peace. How can he get them? The path is shown here. By purity and peace of mind, both are acquired. When the mind is free from impure impulses, the aim of spiritual life is achieved. Just as in a clean mirror, the reflection is perfectly clear. Even so, in the purified mind, the self shines forth in its own splendor and glory. Sage Vasishtha states that purity of mind arising from deep knowledge of Atma is moksha, liberation. So, all those who desire moksha should keep the mind pure by constant inquiry of the self. Two great benefits are derived from the peace of mind: elimination of all sorrow and suffering, resting of the mind firmly in Atma. Of all sufferings means all sorrows and sufferings. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika are removed at once when peace is attained. What a wonderful boon of peace for man! What more does man want? A casual look at the world and humanity would reveal the horrid restlessness, distraction, and pain, both of the body and mind, which man is undergoing in this earthly life. Life is a fitful fever. Mad and delirious man runs here and there, getting and spending and exhausting his energies. Angry, distressed, and subject to the innumerable shocks of life. That is the unfortunate state of man. From all these evils, man is protected by the contemplation of the self, and when peace is attained, these are completely eliminated. Peace is the condition of moksha. If peace does not fill the whole being of man, moksha remains only in intellectual concept, without real meaning or substance in it. Mind is firmly fixed in Atma means when the mind is untroubled and peaceful, the intellect is easily fixed in Atma. Then it is all bliss and blessedness. It is like a small river emptying itself into a ocean and becoming one with it. Even the happiness of the Creator Brahma is only a drop in the ocean of the bliss of the Supreme Self. What more does a man want than to merge himself in the ocean of bliss? So let every man who is punished with sorrow and suffering by his own evil know the path of liberation and strive for peace. The man without self-control suffers. 66th sloka. नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिरशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्. Substance. To the man not harmonized in yoga, there is no knowledge of self. To the unharmonized, there is no meditation. To the man without meditation, there is no peace. And to the man without peace, whence is happiness? Commentary. Whence is happiness for man without peace? Means peace and happiness go together. Happiness is in the self and peace unlocks the floodgates of Atmananda. This peace is attained by constant meditation on the self, and meditation is possible when the mind is in a state of balance and harmony. So the first stage is harmony and balance of mind. Such balance and harmony is the immediate result of the purified mind. It has already been pointed out that a mind free from attraction and repulsion comes to be harmonized in yoga. So without purity, there is frequent mental agitation which makes it impossible for man to meditate on Atma. Through purity, mental harmony is acquired. Through harmony, the power of meditation is acquired. And through meditation, peace, and through peace, happiness. The negative form of the ideas and interrogation at the end prove that Lord wants to emphasize these ideas for the guidance of the seeker. Peace is the important step for self-realization. The power of the senses is once again emphasized. 67th sloka. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano anuvidhiyate tadasya haratim pragnam vayurnavamivambasi. Substance. For the mind which follows the wandering senses carried away the discrimination just as the gale carries away a ship upon the waters. Commentary. The seeker should have dispassion towards sense objects like color, sound, form, etc. If the senses are allowed freely to wander in the wilderness of the objective world, there is great danger. The mind functions through the senses, which are constantly in contact with the material objects. The mind, by its own impurities, prompts the senses to seek for enjoyment in the objective world. The mind follows the senses and is carried away in various ways. A simile is used to illustrate the idea. The gale carries away the ship on the waters. The ship may capsize by the gale or otherwise be damaged and lost. Likewise, the mind is driven away from Atma and wrecked on the rocks of sensual pleasures. Even a single sense organ is capable of pulling away the mind from the spiritual goal. If all the senses rebel, what should be the fate of the man? Therefore, the mind should be trained to think of the self and to discriminate between the real and the unreal. If the mind is trained in this way, it can resist the temptation caused by the senses. Otherwise, the mind runs after the senses, the eye sees an attractive object, and the mind thinks of it. The power of discrimination is lost. When the intellect yields to the glamour of the mind, man becomes a slave to the material world. So, the seeker should carefully preserve his power of discrimination and spiritual attitude by shutting out the objective world as much as possible. We come across instances of spiritual aspirants suddenly lapsing into sense pleasures and ruining their chances of ultimate victory. By some amount of practice, they acquire a little steadiness of mind and experience a little peace. But then, by their own negligence, they allow the senses to touch some material object, and the whole process of degradation starts. The mind is like a rubber ball. If the ball is let down on the top of the staircase, it rolls down step by step till it falls on the ground. The seeker, therefore, should not relax his vigilance even for the moment till the final goal is reached. Question: what is the harm if the senses and the mind wander through worldly objects? Answer: they destroy the discrimination, spirituality, and godliness of the aspirant.